for joining me. Please let me know if the audio is perfect on your own device over there. Then we can continue. And also, you can also share the broadcast just before you settle down, okay? I'm not allowed to use Facebook, so you can invite your friends from Facebook, from Twitter, from everywhere, WhatsApp. So copy the link, share with them, okay? And then let's get started. Loud and clear. Thank you very much, Olusegun Labiran. Thank you very much. Yes, we have updates. But let me tell you something tonight, because I may forget eventually when, among other things, I'm going to say. You see, there is a grace to what I've been saying. There's a grace in what I've been saying about us learning from history, but never to be imprisoned by history. If there is any good, great thing that this social media has done to us, or done for all of us, especially the Oduduwans, the Biafrans, and the Nigerians in general, is the fact that we have managed to bridge the gap between the Biafrans and the Yorubas, a sort of, age-long suspicion of, can we trust one another? So far, so good. Those who have been using that fault line, using that tribal this, ethnic that, to divide us, social media has managed. It took us a while, but yes, it has managed to make us at least attempt to understand one another. It gives a real Biafran who is fighting for justice, right, to pay attention to why his fellow Yoruba brother, who is also a victim of the same injustice in Nigeria, would rather fight him than fight collectively the injustice that everyone is suffering from. So social media gave us that chance. We had a lot of misunderstanding. We are still getting there. But let me tell you something. Over time, people are beginning to lower their guard, right? The Biafrans are more comfortable to have a conversation. Not that they are going to agree with you 100%, no, right? The mistrust, the suspicion that the system, the rigged system in Nigeria, has planted in us without us knowing. The suspicion of don't trust the Yoruba. There are still people who will tell you don't trust the Yoruba man. You will still see some Yorubas who will tell you don't trust Igbo man. But do you know that social media in the last 2 years especially has managed to unite us in our own injustice, in the injustices that we have suffered. And now everybody is now listening. And it seems that there is now beginning to be a cohesion, a collaboration, a sort of a listening ears, and then shoulders to rest on when things happen to either the Biafrans or the Oduduwans in this contraption called Nigeria. This is something I want you to pay attention to. They may tell you that all we do is talk. Who would have imagined it? That a day will come that our Yoruba brothers and our Biafran brothers, they will find a common ground, a common injustice ground, which everyone has suffered from, and unite to fight it. Unite to fight it. This new breed of generation who have learned from history and chose not to be imprisoned by history. We have those who are still imprisoned by that history, like those who are still fighting the civil war, the genocide in their mind, in their head, right? But good enough, social media has made us see the truth beyond what you can even imagine. What we are now doing is that harmonizing these awarenesses and all of that, and build a strong, formidable front that will eventually crash a system that brought us to this breaking point. So if people says it is all about noise, tell them they are either deliberately chose to be stupid or they are actually stupid. Do you get what I mean now? Because you can choose to be deliberately ignorant, which is the choice, or pretend that this is not happening. Let me tell you something. You know why I feel comfortable with everyone who is standing up for the injustice suffered for decades by every part of Nigeria? Don't let us mistaken this, okay? There is no part of Nigeria that is not marginalized. It is a collaborative class war. Whether it's Fulani elite, whether it is the Yoruba elite, or the elite from your own tribe, from your village, one thing you should pay attention to is this. No matter how divided Nigeria is, no matter how ruined Nigeria is, no matter how corrupt Nigeria has become, you see those tribal elite, they are all united in one accord. Because of what? Nigeria still protects their wealth, the ill-gotten wealth. Nigeria protects the wealth. And as long as Nigeria protects that wealth, they may pretend to be fighting for you, but they are never fighting for you. Are you following? So that is why I decided that when you see everyone standing up in every part, whatever name they give their agitation, their own way of expressing their displeasure with the way a rigged system Nigeria is, and those who choose not to do anything, fine. I don't care. I will embrace them, because you know what Nigeria is built up for? The Igbos, who are elite, they will always be against Biafra. It is not because they don't know that Biafra will give a better future for them and for their own generation, the generation coming after them. They know. But that is not the future they want. They already got the future they want with Nigeria. All they have to do is to keep their own end of the bargain, keep everybody in the servitude, and continue to be against Biafra. Same thing with the Yoruba elite. Same thing with the Igala elite, the TV elite, the Fulani elite, the Hausa elite, the Kanuri elite. All of them, whether it's religious or whether it's political, whether it's traditional, you see all of them, they will always be against the breakup of Nigeria. You know why? Among all these ruins, their own retirement is guaranteed as Nigeria is currently structured. Yours is not. To guarantee yours is you demanding for equity, justice, and fairness. And since they won't give you that, people say, you know what? It is better we break the whole thing up without waiting for the elite. And since then, the elites have been doing everything. Have you not noticed? They are all united. You will never see any of them say, break up Nigeria. They will dance around it, dance around it, dance around it. They will come back to tell you that there is no other country. You all need Nigeria. And you'll be asking yourself, are these people mad? Now, for the first time, people are beginning to see that these guys are united in their arrangement of keeping the contraption going to the detriment of you and your own children. So you don't need them. It's a class war. Therefore, the social media is breeding the new breed of enlightened generation who will be able to differentiate between the lies, the facts from fiction. They will be able to read from history, learn from it, build from it, rather than be imprisoned by it. Because in that history, let me tell you something, in the history of Nigeria, go and check everything. Political history of Nigeria, everything is full of hatred, killing, ethnic rivalry, things that have brought about bloodshed and death. No love. Don't let anybody deceive you. The progenitors of Nigeria, right? The love they projected was the love of we all agreed to get independence. Apart from that, go and trace the history, the bickering, the attack, the war, the genocide, and everything to this date. There is nothing loving about Nigeria history except those fictions that they make up for us when we were growing up. The fiction that made Muritala a murderous genocidist, that made him a national hero. Except for those fairy tales, there is no love lost. So you can't become victim of that history by claiming in this 21st century, why did Ojukwu start a war? Why did Azikiwe not supported this? Why did Awolowo give this? In 21st century, you are still a prisoner of your history. You haven't learned anything from it. And you know what? Those who didn't learn from that history, but who became prisoners of that history, they are those who are the champion of war of today. When you talk about referendum, they don't understand it. What they understand is war. And when they remember what brought the first war and the genocide, it was because some people said, give us a referendum, we want to leave. Do you understand? People who didn't learn from it, they became prisoner of that history. I hated the Igbo because of what they did to Awolowo. Oh, I hated the Yorubas because of what Awolowo did. You are still a prisoner of that history. Where is Awolowo today? Where is Azikiwe? Where is Ahmadu Bello? Where is Tafawa Balewa? Where is Ironsi? Where is Muritala? Where are these guys that actually changed the course of history? The history you read that will make you feel like, no, I will never trust the Yorubas. I will never trust the Igbos. I will never trust the Hausas. I will never trust the Fulanis. You see, this stereotyping is exactly what keeps them in power. It is the reason why breaking up of Nigeria will continue to be an Herculean task, something that can be done in a matter of time, in a very short time. And you know why? For years, it's been so hard to break Nigeria. It's because those who have been propagating the fake history of Nigeria, this history is history of fear, death, deprivation, loss of freedom. These are the history, intimidation, fear mongering. Okay? But this generation is now learning that, yeah, the reason why the only thing they've taught us, I mean, they've actually taught us the only reason why what they've taught us is because they wanted us to know fear all our lives. Fear. You should never ask for something that is never given to you. You should be grateful for whatever is given to you by Nigeria. Even in death, you should be thankful. And there are actually generations raised that way. But social media, internet, access to unadulterated information, the information that help form your decision, help your sort of mental judgment. That's something that helps you to make informed decision, whereby you can then choose to be deliberately ignorant. You can choose to be deliberately stupid. But the social media, the internet has helped us so greatly. And today, people have learned from that history. They are building from it, and they are now giving it back to back to the dictator, the ghost Bokwari. And you know one thing that the dictators ate most, one thing they hated a lot, is for people to find their voice and come together. They are scared of it. They may brag. Nigeria is a country of bloodbath. Nigeria is a country that is in a very, very bad place, being ruled by very, very bad people who are actually shunning out policies that are very, very bad policies. And guess what? Because of all of this, the consequences of all this are becoming very, very bad consequences. And the only way out of it is for people to know that it is a class war. Nothing you want that you can't get, all you need is the number. Like everyone says, the people's in power. They say people's power is greater than people in power, which means Bokwari that can order military, that can order police to shoot aside and kill protesters who are asking him to do the right thing, fix the country. For those who are asking for revolution now, right? On a democracy day, he still send out his policemen to brutalize, to attack, and to, to kill protesters. You know why? Because he is a coward. You see, there's something about dictators that you need to know. Dictators love to appear like they are powerful. When they talk bigly. They talk in a big word that will make you feel like, 1 million people talking. The reason why and everything they say lack substance, full of threats, intimidation, and self-praise, because they are living in different world. They are no longer in that your own world. They don't see the number anymore. And guess what? When the dictators see people people coming together, they feel so intimidated. They feel like you think sending soldiers out makes them powerful? No. It shows you how intimidated he is. He was with numbers of people asking them to vote for him to be president of Nigeria, right? He was not afraid of the numbers. He was not afraid of the crowd. Now that the numbers are coming out to ask him to go away because he's failed them, he's killed them, he is scared. He couldn't call out the numbers that actually gave him that power because they are the numbers out there. He denied them. Therefore, he brought about people with guns to shoot down and quell the number of those who gave him that power. That is not act of being powerful. It is actually an act of a coward. It is an act of cowardice. Buhari is a coward. Somebody holed up inside the asshole rock. Yeah? Somebody who is so afraid that people who are carrying placard, holding phones, are more intimidating than those who are carrying AK-47. He publicly acknowledged them, he supported them, and he publicly advocates for them to be given land. But when you carry your placard, he is intimidated. And in this division, he knows that there are those that they can pay. They will pay them to come out and tell you that Buhari is the best thing that ever happened to Nigeria after the sliced bread. Yes, that is how shameless they have become. But like they say, you cannot shame the shameless, but you can talk about them in order to educate other people who actually look at them as if to say they are powerful. They are so powerful. They are not powerful. IPOB, a country of over 60 million people, Buhari, who come from, you see, let me break it down for you so that you can understand. Because that's how it is. When I keep going, I just go on and on and on and on. But let me make you understand. In this contraption called Nigeria, we have over 250 ethnic nationalities. I'm talking about nationalities that can be their own countries, if not because they match Nigeria together. People who have nothing in common, match them together to form a united country. And for 60 years, after more than over 50 million people killed to keep that Nigeria one. When I give you that number, don't be scared. Okay? If we begin to compare now, you'll be shocked. Will even shock you more than that. But don't let us go there. For over 60 years, sacrificed tens of millions of people to keep it one. It has remained, apart in tatters. Yeah? Now, among these 250 nationalities in Nigeria, on record, we have 3 Gbogi in Yoruba. We call it Gbogi. That is something very, very massive. And I will break it down for you. We have 3 major ethnic nationalities. And they are the Yorubas, the Igbos, who are the Biafrans, the Hausas. These are the 3 major ethnic nationalities in Nigeria. The Yorubas can boast of over 70 million Yorubas that make up Nigeria of today. The Igbos can boast of over 60 million Igbos, home and abroad, that make up this Nigeria of today. The Hausas can boast of over 60 million, because they also scattered, by the way. We have the Kanuris, we have the Nupes and all of that, right? Now, the Fulanis, they are the least. The Fulanis, back in the days, in year 2000, there was this African Journal report that dealt with population growth in sub-Saharan Africa, West Africa, the Sahel, the migration and all of that. And they said, Nigeria population was somewhere around 145 million. They told us, so they said, the Fulanis in Nigeria, their total population was about 3.8 million. I'm not making this up. You can go online now and Google this. Way back in 2000, though, that is just a year into democracy. Then you know what happened in the last 21 years of democracy. They are now everywhere. Okay? Now, Boko Haram, who come from Niger Republic. Do you understand? It came from Niger Republic. And because of the proximity of Niger Republic and Nigeria, Katsina, where Daura, where Boko Haram come from, you will just, if you dey inside Boko Haram's living room in Daura, you will be in Nigeria. If you go to Boko Haram's backyard, where he kept his cow, you will be in Niger Republic. I am not making this up. You can look it up as well. Why am I telling you this? That Boko Haram is now the president of Nigeria, a country of 250 million, over 250 ethnic nationalities. And that Boko Haram now came out and he said, the Biafrans, Igbos, who are the third biggest ethnic nationality in Nigeria, the Igbos, Boko Haram came and he said they are just a dot in a circle. For those of you who understand the military language, a dot in a circle simply means it can be wiped out and nobody will notice. How can you wipe out over 60 million people just to prove that Nigeria is a powerful country? How can you wipe that out? Can you now, somehow, will you now wonder how it has become so difficult to quench and crush the Biafrans for the past 60 years that Nigeria has been trying? Pay attention, no? Ask yourself, is that not the reason why it's been so difficult to crush the Biafrans? If it was the Fulani versus Biafrans, you know what will be the result now? If they don't have access to your military wear, if they don't have access to the southern oil, if they don't have access to use Nigeria name to borrow money, they will not be able to wage war against the 60 million people and win. Now, Boko Haram is telling you, this is a narrative, they continue to tell you, the Igbos are the minority. They are in the middle. They are so small. They will have no place to go. And you believe that? Boko Haram came out and he said, oh, the southern leaders promised him, the South leader promised him. Some people were asking me, there was just a gaslighting, dog whistle, that there is no South leader that went to him. You see, I am telling you, in this Nigeria of today, if they say some leader come and they do meeting, don't join those that will say, I trust that person. You will be fooling yourself. For any amount of money, they will trade you. You will sign the agreement and you will know that they actually just sold you like a cow. Boko Haram, in his own warped mind, APC, Egbekegbe, and all of us are watching, they are treating a nationality of 60 million people like they are nothing. And you are wondering, how come they have not crushed them? How come that every time they try to, it seems that it's not just working? The reason is because since they couldn't crush them in 67 to 70, they can never crush them. And the reason why it's still pretty much looking so good is because they are still making you feel like it is something to defend and use Nigeria resources to commit genocide again, because Fulanis, led by Boko Haram, they just want to wipe out the dots. They want to clean it away. How do you clean 60 million people away? How? Eh? But today, we are doing well. Some people said, Mayegun, if they were to give award to platforms, the platforms that actually bring people united enough that they are so comfortable, it doesn't matter where they come from, right? Whether even they are Fulani, whether they are Hausa, whether they are from Tifi, whether they are from Ijoland, whether they are Biafrans, Yoruba, it doesn't matter where they come from. You seem to have this kind of, an easy peasy arrangement on Mayegun that somebody should give you a recognition for that, because if there is nothing social media has done for us in this generation, this is one of it. Look at how much they try to plant the IPOB this, IPOB that, IPOB coming to attack Lagos, or IPOB there was behind NSAS. Look at how much they have tried to propagate that in order for them to set the Eastern Nigeria up and be able to declare full-scale war, like Boko Haram want to wipe them out. Are you with me? How much, if there is no social media to debunk them, how much of damages do you think that would have done? Today, people feel comfortable to actually pay. Some people began reading about Biafra. Now that people are talking more about it, many Yorubas are now following. They say, I didn't know this happened though. Honestly speaking, I didn't know. So Nigeria did all of so the people we call heroes, these guys are actually criminals. These are war crime criminals. Wow. It is because of social media. And that is why social media became a threat. And if you pay attention, social media is not just a threat to APC, Egbekegbe. Social media, the internet, is a big threat to the establishment in Nigeria. Call it the church, call it the religious, the Islam, call it the traditional institution, call it the political class, everything, including the business world, they are intimidated by what social media is doing. The expose. Imagine banks coming to social media to apologize to citizens simply because there is hashtag boycott GTB, boycott First Bank, and you see First Bank apologizing, fixing problem. Social media became Nigerians 911. Imagine the freedom. Policemen will be robbing you at a corner in Lagos. Somebody will capture the video, put it on social media. People will start hashtagging it. The policemen who collected the money from you, they will be arrested, even if not for figgy, right? But you get your money back. That was some freedom that not even their conventional media in Nigeria could give. So social media began uniting people, understanding the problem of Nigeria, but yet not at a unison on what will be the exact solution. So everybody is now bringing his own solution. But all of you may not notice. That means we are progressing. Biafrans and the Oduduwans met in London. It was a beautiful sight to behold. I'm going to show it to you before I continue. Let me say thank you to Expensive Vincent A. A friend called my attention to my last super chat. There was messed up on my chart. I called on Yorubas to establish our militia group that could protect our people if NPF and army failed to. Not calling attack on innocent people. Ireo, I missed that too. However, thanks for that rebuttal. Okay, we are not calling for violence. If you watch the video on Mayegun's Diary Politico, we report the violence unleashed on people by the dictatorship or the tyrannical government of Nigeria under Buhari, we never encourage violence. We encourage self-defense, which is universally your right to defend yourself against any attack, since the state will not protect you. That is not a call for violence. That is not a call for attack on people. Protect yourself, defend your community. This is now a common saying in Nigeria since the failure of the government of Nigeria. So, Expensive Vincent, I think I will grab your message. And thank you very much for getting back on that. In London, June 12, the Biafrans, the Oduduwans, they used the opportunity to stage an awareness rally, a very massive one, right, to tell Nigeria that if the opportunity is given today for the Yorubas, for the Biafrans to decide where they want to belong to, my brothers and sisters, you will not have to wait for long before you get the answer. People said the Yorubas, the Biafrans, and every other nationality in Nigeria who is abroad, okay, we all have a role to play in changing the course of history in that Nigeria, saving the lives of those we love, our own loved ones, who are trapped in that place. Well, not by the choice of theirs, or not completely the choice of theirs, right? But by the unfortunate misfortune of having these terrible human beings in charge of their country. But however, the unity is building, is growing, and it is starting from abroad. And I love it. And I think you must have seen the videos, right? But let's watch this to start with. Thank you very much. So that is London earlier today. Not just that. There's another one this time around when everybody formed a barricade and watch.
Il paese che ci ospita oggi, ossia l'Italia, è un padre fondante della comunità europea e non dimentichiamo, noi l'abbiamo studiato anche, l'accordo di 28, per cui sappiamo anche
mo wá sí online sí láti jẹ́ pé kí n sọ fún ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa wípé kí ẹ pàdé mi ẹ join mi níbi èyí tí mo share sí ọ ní ìsìn náà ni mo share rẹ̀ tẹ́ bá ti wá sórí page mi ẹ máa rí torí mi ni mo ń coverage ibẹ̀ yẹn ẹ ti rí òun náà ni mo gbé dání yìí ṣe ti rí èmi ni mo ń coverage ẹ̀ so ìdí nìyẹn tí mo fi ní gbogbo yín ẹ wá sí ibi èyí tí mo share sórí page mi sìn ẹ̀yin náà ti máa rí Italia mega rally so ẹ lọ kẹ́ join mi níbẹ̀ mi lè mú fóònù méjì dání at the same time nítorí ṣẹlẹ̀ nìyẹn tí mo fi tí mo fi ń ṣe ìyẹn tí mo fi ní kí n sáré wá kí n wá sọ fún yín so ẹ join wa níbẹ̀ so bó ṣe ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ òun náà ni ẹ ń wò ó tí ẹ dẹ̀ ń gbọ́ àwọn atrocity tí ìjọba location 419 tí wọ́n ti ṣe òun náà ni ẹ rí tí àwọn Biafra IPOB tí wọ́n mú dání yẹn ẹ ti rí àwọn tí wọ́n massacre àwọn náà ni ẹ ń wò yẹn ẹ ti rí so torí ìdí èyí.
Thank you, Jare Baba. We love that coverage. Just to tell you that not just in London, it also happened in Italy. It happened, that's for the collaboration of the Biafrans and the Oduduwans to tell the whole world today about the killings going on in Nigeria, the genocide going on in Biafra land, being undertaken by Bukwari and his government. Okay, so let's go to Nigeria, where they also staged a protest against Bukwari today, which the Revolution Now and others joined across the country. Let's start with this. The first one that we likely, is different from what I showed you from Italy or in London. This is Nigeria.
Many people are dying in the country. Many of my friends have died by the time. We said no to this government. We don't want you anymore, Buhari. You have failed us as
Meanwhile, let's go to the showroom. How Bukwari's government treated the peaceful protesters again today. We haven't received any reports of anyone or if anybody got killed or anyone got shot, but we've received the report of those arrested by his policemen in Lagos, in Abuja, and those who attempted to shoot people in Djibouti. Ibadan was relatively peaceful, and I'll show you I'll show you around. Okay, New York. People also spoke from New York to send a message. Bukwari, you have to go. Let me tell you something about all these protests before I show you the video again, okay? Some of you may not agree with why people are protesting, their own style or the message in their protest, but there's something you should never miss out, okay? People have been trained now to be prepared for a period whereby the shutting down of the entire country that will actually change everything will become so easy and convenient. You remember that before now, the only people who can call for national protest or anything, they were the Labour Congress. They will be calling meetings. We are still in the meeting. We are in meeting with government. The meeting is postponed. Is there going to be strike tomorrow? Is there going to be protest tomorrow? Have you noticed how that paradigm shift changed to the youth, to this generation? Organizing and mobilizing their own for their own protest, even though they are not sharing money or giving people money, right? They are able to still move. That is the preparation that will eventually spark to give what everyone is looking for. I know you are in a hurry. You don't like their style, this and that, but you have no idea what this whole thing is doing everywhere. When people begin to group and gather and defy the dictators, when dictators say something, they will say, go to hell, come and kill us. That is the beginning. By the time the real number emerge, the dictator and those who are holding guns for him, they will run out of town. People have been saying, imagine a day that the people who can mobilize Showore and everyone who can mobilize this number of Nigerians to come out, to defy the killings, despite them being killed. If they can now go into a collaboration with the IPOB leadership, the Lanomo Udua, and everybody decide that we're going to shut down everything today, do you really think their soldiers will be able to stop you? Well, I appreciate them. And I can tell you, they are raising the consciousness of the young people. The young people will begin to reject everything that these criminals are throwing at them. It's not going to work just overnight. But let me tell you this. Many people who now believe that Nigeria must break up, or Nigeria must change from what it is now, many of them who are doing it today, many of them, they call many of us mad people 2 years ago. Some of them were calling us names 2 years ago. Today, many of them are now saying, man, I now believe that Nigeria must break up. I now strongly believe that, you know what I mean? So, all these protests there, they are things that are giving Bokwari and gang blood pressure. So you need to mount the pressure, keep the pressure. Because if you are not pressurizing them, why would they do this to people in Lagos today? Let's start with this.
The police tried to separate the protesters from journalists, saying that the protesters are beginning to infiltrate the group of journalists and are mixing up. So because of that, they had to fire canisters of tear gas. At least 7 canisters have been fired. It's difficult to see out here, and the shots are continuing. So now on the road, you can hardly find anybody. Everybody's leaving the road. There's more police presence on ground now. We've had to put on our ID cards so that we can be differentiated from the protesters, but that is currently the situation on ground right now.
All right, Ben, if you can't hear us, we saw a banner at the beginning. We saw a banner at the front. Please, Ben, get to somewhere a bit safer if you can.
Get to a safe location?
Please, if we don't have to see you, that's fine. We can see the visuals. But we saw a banner at the front of the group that was
now
on
the
the
police
road.
is
Can you
going
tell us
after the protesters,
protesting?
if you can hear me. They are being chased. Thomas, take the shot, please. Protesters are being chased down by police. If you can see that, the police are actually
Bennett,
shooting guns. They are shooting guns.
Okay, Ben, we
Not
really
just
want
tear
to
gas now,
emphasize
they're
that
actually
we need you guys
shooting.
to be
We cannot tell if these are rubber bullets or these are live rounds. But you can see the police now trying to apprehend some protesters. Yeah, and that's it. One protester has been apprehended right there. He's been taken away. Our camera has been blocked, and we've been told to stop recording the shots. We have to move out of sight now.
Please move.
But we're still recording. Thomas, keep rolling.
To a safe distance.
Keep rolling. All right, more vehicles are coming. Step out of the way.
All right, we're asking you to keep rolling, but please do
Situation
it
actually heated up
safely,
here.
Ben. Move over, move away. If you
a
can't
lot of the
keep rolling, but
protesters who actually
please
tried
do
to
it
come out
safely.
have run
We are seeing
into the communities so that they can run away. Now, the young man that's been taken away is the one who spoke to us in the morning. He's the one in black. Thomas, that young man who's been taken away presently is the first guy who spoke to us this morning, and the police have picked him up.
And Bernard, when you spoke
this
with
is
him,
another one as well. So
you spoke
now
with
we
him
have been
earlier.
asked to identify ourselves with our ID cards so that they can differentiate between journalists and protesters. That's what's happening on ground right now. More shots are being fired.
They have so many policemen to go after the citizens, but they don't have enough policemen to go after bandits that continue to kidnap hundreds of school children. Yes, that is a description of a failed country. They brought about a lot. Let me give you another close shot. Maybe this will also be clearer to you. Again, I think that's the other one. The one I want to share with you is, let me see, I think, right. Because we're also still going to talk about those who were paid. Imagine, people paid to go and protest for Bukwari today as part of the trick to say they are still pretty much in control. Watch this. Those are the people paid in Abuja to go and stage their own protest and attack peaceful protesters in Abuja. Okay? You may ask me, how did you know they paid them, Mayegun? That's a very easy question. Maybe you should watch this.
How much again? How much? For 1,000 naira. That's what bring us come here. For 1,000 naira.
To support who? To support who?
Baba Buhari.
Have you collected your own 1,000? Have you collected your own?
I've never collected 1,000.
Me, my own is 10,000 naira.
Your own is 10. How?
My own.
Oga. Come here. I come here for 1,000.
Please stand there. Everybody has to grant interview.
So they told them not to grant interview. So that is the receipt. And they were there, like the NSAS protest, right? To identify them, they gave them uniform. So that when the police come, they will know those they will shoot and kill. But those ones in uniform for 1,000 naira in Abuja. There's another one here. I think this one is in Lagos. Okay, watch this first. That is in Lagos. Do you see their policemen? Do you see how the protesters are running? Like they are just in their own country. They are like refugees who are crossing borders illegally, and the police, the border patrol are trying to stop them. If you have seen those who are crossing to the US in their border, you know, if you've seen some of the videos, if you see some of them running and running and all of that in the border, you'll be like. Those are Nigerians, so in their own country, in a democracy, on a democracy day. Maybe you should also watch this. We are still in Lagos, I think. This. Meanwhile, I think that is Ibadan. Ibadan is a different story. I'm sorry I've mixed all the videos together. But however, I think we should watch this.
Another challenge, double challenge, another challenge, another challenge, another challenge, double challenge, another challenge, another challenge, another challenge, double challenge.
That's also today. I got another one, and I think it is, one sec, Ibadan.
Don't run. You don't need to.
I keep mixing them up. I don't know why. Anyway, the Ibadan today.
Don't run. You don't need to. Don't run. You don't need to. You are protected. A bit of altercation there.
Yes. Did you hear that? Tifnumbu is our problem. Who is that? That is called, raising consciousness. So it will be so difficult, if not near impossible, to deceive half of those people you saw there today in Ibadan, who now know that these guys are the problem, and they will go eventually because they will be ready then to say, what should we do? I told you I was going to give you the close shot because so many of them, yeah, right? The close shot of what they did to the protesters in Lagos, the Lagos Commissioner of Police, Odumosu or something his name, right? Watch this.
Don't run. You don't need to. You are protected. A bit of altercation there. Yeah, let's stay together. Let's stay together. I'm afraid.
Don't look at me.